Good morning. Good morning. What are we doing today, Val? As you can see, my little love muffin is not here today. I don't know what to do.
You're nice, sweet, smooth, like cocoa bread, cocoa bread. You're nice, like cocoa, you're nice, like cocoa bread, like cocoa bread.
Today is going to be all about the caregiver. As many of you know, I am a full-time caregiver of my wonderful wife, Valerie. And what is often overlooked in our world as caregivers is something called respite care. I spoke about this, I think, in our very first video. And we're going to talk about it from time to time because it's an important part of our life and our jobs as caregiver that is often overlooked, ignored, not intentionally, but because we feel so overwhelmed and compelled to continue, oftentimes to our own detriment, the care of someone else. So we need to keep in mind that if we are not doing well, then the people that we're caring for may suffer as well. So I've made a determination. I'm going to take back my health, mental and physical, and that way I will be better for Valerie. And in so doing, it's going to make us a stronger unit. She's going to do better, and I myself am going to do better. Oftentimes through the stresses of life, our mental health suffers. We're under so much stress that it can actually make you sick. And I am a clean eater, so it's not the food that is affecting my physical health, it's the stress, and it's the lack of physical activity as far as exercising. I don't put enough time in myself to make sure that I'm fit and strong so that I can take care of Valerie. So today I am at a wonderful park in Palm Beach County called Okeechobee Park. It's one of the many parks in South Florida that you can work out. They have, it's not weights, but it's places for you to do strenuous activities. And they actually have a course here for you to follow that you can do this in a safe manner and you can show improvement. It's pretty strenuous. This is actually my second time doing it. So I began this journey actually last week. But I'm going to show you around and take you through this course with me, so that if you are in this area or in South Florida, period, because there are many of these parks in South Florida that you can actually, for free, work out, walk, jog, fish. There's so many activities. You can actually golf at Okeechobee Park. And this park is one of the largest. It's over 800 acres. And it's open from sun up to sundown. It has different activities throughout the year. And one of the great things also, scattered throughout this park, they've got many restrooms available. So you don't have to worry about that. It is very accessible for the most part. This obstacle course is not, but eventually I'm going to get Valerie out here and we're going to go to John Prince Park, which I believe is more accessible and actually is geared towards getting people with disabilities more physical activity. So I'm going to show you the course as it is outlined here on these little panels here. This is the course. It's 20 spots from start to finish, as you can see, going clockwise 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 20. Some of them have dual activities for you to do. What I like about it is they also make sure that you stretch throughout this course and before you start. So we're going to begin at the first one and work our way all the way through. And by the end, trust me, we're going to be exhausted. This course is actually 1 mile, and you can actually jog. You don't have to actually do the workout portions of it. You can just jog the mile. It goes into a loop, and its own wood chips makes it for a nice soft landing pad for your knees your hip joints and your ankles. So it lessens the impact, which is great that they thought of this. So we're going to start right here. It says stretch here. So you're going to begin at this first course point, which is stretching exercises. We don't begin until we actually stretch. So as you can see, 1, 2, and 3, they walk you through 3 things to begin. And after we do this, we can either walk or jog to the next point. Now, having done this once already, I'm in no shape to jog from point to point yet, but I'm going to get there. Now that I've stretched, we're going to go on to the next course. And unfortunately, I didn't bring my tripod, so I can't show you what I'm actually doing, but we're just going to take a brisk walk. It says to take a brisk walk or jog. I'm thinking in about a week I'll start jogging this, and I'm going to do this as they suggest every other day. So I'm going to do it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and if I have to alternate a day, I will. So we're just going to go to the next part of the course. This is the next one. So we've got more stretching. So we're not really doing any type of pull-ups or push-ups or anything like that at this point. They want to make sure that you're warming up and you're stretching. So we've got 2 more stretching exercises. So I'm going to do that and we'll continue our walk. Okay, now that I've finished the second one, we're going to move on. We're going to jog. Not jog, actually, we're going to walk briskly. I'm not up to par to jog yet, as I said earlier, but the stretching, I'm already feeling warmed up. Getting ready to go. So let's take our brisk walk. Okay, the next one is going to be more stretching. So these are warm-up exercises. These first 3 have been nothing but warm-up exercises. So we're going to follow the instructions here, and then we'll move on to the next station. By the way, you know, I mentioned alligators because there are many lakes back here in this park. As I said, you can go fishing, boating, jet skiing. There's one way down there. Let me see if I can zoom in. I probably can't that far, but there's a lake there. There's all kinds of activities here. And like I said, you can enter this park. It costs you nothing to do these exercises or walk, have a picnic. There are pavilions and everything back here. So anyway, let's continue our exercise. On to the next one. We're going to begin our brisk walk. Okay, we're coming up to the next station, and look, we've got more warm-up exercises. So we're still warming up, and at this particular point they want you to check your heart rate to make sure you're in your target zone up to your max heart rate. So we're going to continue to do some stretches, and this way you're keeping safe. I love the fact that they're covering all the bases when it comes to your health and physical awareness here, that you are not overdoing it. And as you can see, on every station and every stretch and or exercise, if you're just training, it's a little bit less cumbersome, but they also have a competitive level where you would do much more as far as your stretches and your other calisthenics and training and what have you. So we're going to continue with this. I believe this might be the final warm-up for this part of the leg, so let's continue. Okay, we have completed that station, and we're going to move on to the next. But first I want to show you, at every station they have a convenient bench for you to sit down, rest if you need to, so you don't have to feel like you're rushed. You do this at your own pace, and don't overdo it. The key is just getting your heart warmed up, your heart moving, and do this with consistency. So we're going to continue on to the next station. Thanks. So we've completed a quarter mile of the mile-long course. So we're 1/4 the way through, and we're going to begin now going beyond stretching. We're going to do jumping jacks. They want you to do 12. If you're in better shape or you're trying to be competitive, they want you to do 20. Because remember, it may not seem like a lot to do 12 jumping jacks, but you've got many more things to accomplish as you go through this course. So I'll be right back. Okay, we've done our jumping jacks. Headed to the next course. You might not be able to tell because I'm going to be probably speeding this video up a little bit, but these stations are not very far apart. We had like 4 or 5 within the first quarter mile. So there's on average 4 stations per quarter, sometimes 5. And we're coming up already to the next one. And this one is going to be stretching again. See that? They're making sure that you're continuing to stretch. So we're going to do that and move on to the next one. And here you can see what we're going to do at this station is body tuck, sit, and reach. So this is going to require some arm strength. It's going to help your biceps and your abs. And then we're going to stretch again. So let's try that out. So here is the board that we're going to do our sit-ups with curls. And they're only asking us to do 3 when you're just training. They'll usually double that to 6 if you're being competitive. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're going through all these exercises, it starts to take a toll. So I'm supposed to be exercising, but I feel like going to sleep in this position. As they say, no rest for the weary. That was a workout. And on to the next station. Okay, somebody's at the next station. So we're going to wait, and while we're waiting, I'm going to show you that they also have tennis here, which is quite nice. So you can bring your tennis court, you can bring your tennis racket. They also have pickleball. And this particular court here has about 6 different nets, so you can have combinations of 6, and I believe this might be the pickleball court, which is 2 there. So like I said, there's so many things that you can do that don't cost money. You can get in shape, you can get out and get going, as we often say in our videos. Okay, this next station is the hand walk body dip. This one takes a lot of effort. So they have you just training. If you're just training and beginning, it's 2 times. You always double that. And the body dips. So we're going to get into that, and after that we'll hit to the next station. Okay, that took a lot out of manservant. I'm gonna walk a little slower to this next station. Look at this, they got a whole tournament going on over there. I don't know if you can see it, but they're really going at it with this tennis. It's amazing. Okay, we're at the next station now. I ain't gonna lie, I just showed y'all that tennis so I could take a little breather. Okay, this station we're gonna be doing sit-ups and leg raises. So they want you to do 10 sit-ups and 8 leg raises. So we'll go ahead and accomplish that. Okay, continuing on to the next station. And as we're headed to the next station, we can see somebody is using it. So we'll give them their space and we'll wait for them so we can make sure we complete all the tasks. And this one is the step up heart rate. We're going to do that, and then we'll check our heart rate, as they want you to make sure you're being healthy while you're doing it. Low key, I almost bust my asteroids on this one. This balance, man, my balance is off. This ain't right. Headed toward the next station. As you can see, we've hit the half-mile mark, so we're halfway through. I should have timed it, but I forgot to time it to see how long it actually takes to go through this. But it's no rush. I'm just going at a leisurely pace. I'm not trying to overexert myself because I'm just beginning to start exercising again. You want to make sure you're safe. So we're already back to the next station. Not back, but to the next station. This is the bar jump. And it's like when you were in high school, you're just jumping over the different railroad ties, and they want us to do this 2 times, so let's get it. Okay, we're headed towards the next station. And in the distance, there are actually some soccer fields down there. I don't know if you could see it. Soccer fields, part of the golf course down there. But we're at our next station, so we got to keep it moving. This is the overhead ladder where we're going to walk our hands forward and backward. They want us to do this 2 times. I did this last week on my first time doing this, and it is difficult. So let's get it. I'll be honest, I couldn't do it twice. I did go forward and backwards once, but they want you to go forward and backwards twice. You're literally walking yourself about maybe 1.5 feet off the ground through these long bars, and my upper strength is simply not there. You know, I'm a senior citizen now. Cut the old guy a break. Okay, we're headed on to the next station. And as we can see, there's another lake. It's about the 4th one we pass, a very large lake. We're just going to briskly walk to the next station. And there are people out here just reading, just relaxing, getting some fresh air. If you have mobility issues or you're feeling down and out, particularly if you're in South Florida, but check out your local areas. Where there's a park, you can really have a sunshiny day, and it'll help you get out of a potential, down mental state that you may be in. It'll help to get your physical back up. Brisk walking, if you're in a chair, or rolling, or if you're completely immobile, you're in a power chair. If it's just moving your arms, if you can do that, or just breathing the fresh air. So at the next station, there's a bird on top of it. He's gone. Now this is chin up. I want you to do 3 chin ups and some isometric squats, both which are great difficulty to me at 55 years old. I was only able to do 1.5 last time. My goal is to get 2. It may sound funny because just probably right before my wife became disabled, I was in much better physical health. I could probably do about 15 with no problem. But we're on our way back to good health, strength, physical and mental. Let's get it. Okay, that almost took me out. My legs are burning, they're on fire. I did get to about 2 pull-ups, but that one almost took me out. Almost died. Headed to the next station. think I'm crawling at this point, but I'm determined to make it. I finished it last week on my first try at this. Mind over matter. If you don't mind, it don't matter. And there's also biking here, as you can see. And you can actually rent bicycles here, which I think is pretty cool. So we're at the next station, and this is another leg stretch. This is stretches now. We're gonna do stretches and then push-ups. Okay, we completed that station. Now on to the next. And we're at the next station, body raise. So we're going to grab the bar at chest height, lower body to a crouch position, and spring upward. We do this 5 times, and we need to check our heart rate. So let's get it. Okay, I just sat down just to take a little quick breather, but we're not done. We are just about the 3/4 mile mark, which is just right ahead. And we're going to continue to get this workout in. No pain, no gain. Now this next exercise, I don't know who thought of this, that this should be for anyone other than Dominique Dawes or any of these Olympic gymnasts. This is a vault bar. Face your bar with both hands on top of the bar. Spring over with legs fully extended. Who's gonna do that? I'm 55 years old. And then repeat it 5 times. You gotta be kidding me. Yeah, I had a conversation with this vault bar, and he told me, he said, I'm here to make sure you go home disabled. And I said, well, you win. I'm gonna skip you, okay? I won't be back. And we're at the next station, which is going to be the balance beam. And this was a little difficult for me as well because my balance is off, but we're going to improve. We're going to get it. Okay, see this balance beam? It's very narrow, so your foot is going to be larger than this beam. And I would have caught a DUI with this one because I was walking like a drunken sailor here. So anyway, I did see improvement. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, we're approaching the next station, as you can see, and this is the leg kick. Then they want you to check your heart rate again. So this is the next one. Okay, we completed that task, and on to the next. Well, as you can see, this is the cool down, which is I believe the next to the last station. Cool down exercises. So we've accomplished a lot, and now we're going to do some stretches and take it to the last station. Okay, we've completed that, and we're headed towards the end. Feeling pretty good. Last thing we have to do is take a bow, because congratulations, you are at the last exercise station of the course. Take a bow. I did it. A little bit at a time. It wasn't easy, but the point is taking that first step to get out and do it. So we're going to do this last little stretch exercise and call it a day. Okay, that completes my workout for the day. I actually did a half-mile jog basically just to get my legs moving, but I am spent. I hope that you enjoyed this video, because I sure didn't enjoy making it. Oh, and please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, tell your friends about it, because it tremendously helps out our channel. But remember, when you're down, you're out, you're feeling like you're stuck and you just can't seem to get moving, take that first step, get out of bed and get moving, even if that just means getting up and sitting in a chair. Eventually make your way outside to get some fresh air, then begin to move, because by doing so, you know that you too can live a marvelous, accessible life. Take care. Thanks for watching.